everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the My Team Career Mode here for the Austrian GP, the second sprint weekend of the season. Sorry about that, but this episode will not have any of the in-game audio. There was an issue with that over the recording, but let's get ready to head into the weekend. For the Pirelli Hot Lap, we're going to be doing the autocross in the Ferrari Roma. Here we are, though, for the Pirelli Hot Lap. Yeah, it's very odd to not hear any of the in-game audio, but we're just gonna go with it, and try and do our best here to get gold in this Hot Lap. As you see, it's dragging us right out to the white line, down into the braking zone for turn 3. Always a tough braking zone, even in the F1 cars, but especially in these where you're just sliding. Heading into a bit of a slalom now down this back straight. We're going to just brake a little bit early just to make sure we can get the turn in for the gate as we're sliding, spinning out. But luckily we do not hit the gate nor miss it, and we're able to keep going without scrubbing off a ton of time, as well as without getting a time penalty for missing or hitting the cone. But as soon as I say that, we do get a 5-second penalty for hitting the cone. Couldn't get the car to turn through there. And that's going to be a theme throughout the weekend. That's probably the toughest corner on this track. But we're still doing pretty well now to continue this lap. Got just over 10 more gates to go. Heading through the final 2 corners. This is a really tight bit, probably the tightest bit we've had. Out of the final corner, we're going to have just a couple more gates to go, and now the run up to the line, and we are going to get gold here in the Pirelli Hot Lap. Here we are now in practice. As you see, we do have a bit of audio. There is stuff in the background. But besides that, here we are for the final lap of the program. And I was actually finally able to get through turn 1 cleanly here in this practice program. Purple through there, DRS, purple. Now the run up to turn 2. Barely even a corner here. Now into turn 3, into the braking zone. Purple on entry, purple through the middle of the corner, and purple on exit through turn 3. Another good DRS zone. Now the run up to turn 4, I believe. On the brakes, purple on the entry, purple through the middle, and purple on the exit. Through turn 5 now. Another all purple into turn 6. Green on entry, but purple through the middle and exit. So very good corner. Purple on entry, but we missed the middle of the corner. And now through turn 8, it's going to be purple throughout it. Into turn 9 on the brakes, purple on entry, green through the middle, and we're just going to come into the pit lane here. Not worried about finishing it off. And that will be the track acclimatization program. So I have now realized what the issue was and found out my mic was on, but just listen to this.
And we got inflation.
There couldn't have been any better timing for that music to come on. So the reason that was coming through, I had my microphone on, and I'll usually turn on a video while I'm doing these just for something in the background. And I had no clue my microphone was actually being picked up in this. But you see here, underbody damage after it. We do get all 5 of the awards in the track acclimatization program. So once this damage is repaired, we'll go out for the qualifying pace program. Here we go for the qualifying pace program. Down into turn 1. And the video quality cuts out. Yeah, that's also just an issue with the internet while I'm recording. I've found that out as well. The recording goes very spotty during it. But now into turn 3, we're currently green, but actually drop in turn 3. I believe we're down 2/10, I think that is. Or no, sorry, not even 2/10. Down into the turn 4, we're quickest in the speed trap. But I actually found my issue out after qualifying with why I was actually really struggling here and losing so much time. I actually had my front wing way too low. So I was really struggling through these tighter corners in between the second and third sector. And that's where I was losing a ton of time. But here we go, final corner, going very aggressive, just trying to get past the program. But we're just going to miss out, and we fail the qualifying pace program.
150 points, so crashing into Stroll was yet another 4 DQs on my side. Hopefully, I have some good luck this time in turn 1. Oh, look at that, look at these guys.
So here we are now in qualifying for the Austrian GP. We're going to get set to go out for our first run, but again, I didn't find out my issue until I believe after the sprint race, actually. But we're going to head out for our first lap. Here we are now, getting set for our first lap in qualifying. Heading down in turn 1, braking at about the 100-meter board, but we do go a little bit wide, get a little slow run through there, but DRS is open now, heading into turn 2 here for the first time, down into turn 3 at about the 100-meter board, probably braking a little too early for that corner, but it's going to be fine. DRS open yet again here, heading into turn 4. Obviously, if you get DRS at this track, coming out of the final corner, and you stay within a second of the car ahead, you have 3 straight chances for an overtake with DRS. But you see a little turn-in issue there for turn 6 through 7, now through turn 8, heading into 9 and 10 for the first time. Down into turn 9, very aggressive on the curbing. Through turn 10, again, aggressive on the curbing, running a little bit wide, DRS open, and it's going to be a 1:07, but we're still 2 seconds off of Carlos Sainz. We're going to try and go for another lap here. We don't have a ton of ERS, but you see we already gain a 10th in the first corner. We did go quicker than Nicholas Latifi. We're losing time, though, without the overtake, or without the ERS. Still 2/10 up. Now losing a bit of time down into turn 3. Still a decent lap for us so far. I don't know where we can gain any time as we actually go slower through turn 4. Get a little better exit. George Russell is going to pressure us. And it's at this point where we're not gaining a ton of time. We run wide and we're going to let Russell by. And then pull into the pits at the end of the lap. Here we are now, a minute left in the session. We are the first car to go out for the final run. Very aggressive through turn 1. A little bit of damage there on the sausage curb. And because of that, we lose time going down this straightaway. Now through turn 2, you see we are 2/10 down on Zhou Guanyu. Very deep into turn 3. Turn 3. I was trying to gain any time I could. Still we're a 10th up on our lap time so far. Down into turn 4 where we lost time on our first lap. We lose time again on entry. On exit, though, we lose even more time. We are still down on our first lap here. Through turn 6, heading into turn 7, we gain a couple tenths, running right out to the grass. We're half a second down on Zhou Guanyu, up 2/10 though. Heading through turn 8, now entering turn 9, we're going to be pushing as much as possible. Very early turn in though, 3/10 up, a lot of floor damage. On exit, even more aggressive, 4/10 up, but it's not going to be enough. We're still going to be P21 here. And as we return to the garage here to end the session, it was not great for us. And we check here, Carlos Sainz goes provisional P1. We start the sprint race from P22.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Sergio Perez, and Verstappen, Norris, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, and Valtteri Bottas, Ocon, Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda and Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Albon, Guan Yu Zhou and Sebastian Vettel, Stroll, Latifi, Oscar Piastri and Thomas. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
So there we are, P22 here, alongside our teammate for the Austrian sprint race. We're going to be starting on the mediums here, staying on the mediums for the entirety of the race. But let's head in for the formation lap. Here we are, getting set to pull onto the grid here for the sprint. Being very aggressive on warming up the tires. It's going to be an optimal grid slot, but we have accidentally positioned ourselves more towards the middle of the track, as here we go for the 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go from the Austrian sprint race. Our teammate Piastri gets a good start, but he has nowhere to take it. We head off into turn 1 for the first time here in the sprint. They're 3 wide ahead of us. We're going to get squeezed. Floor damage already to the car. But now on the run up to through turns 2 and 3. Down into the braking zone for turn 3. We really send it off into the corner. Looking down the inside of Mick Schumacher, damage from Sebastian Vettel's Aston Martin. More floor damage to the car. Now, heading off into turn 4, though. We're up to P19, sending it down the inside of Vettel and Latifi. Not going to be able to get by Vettel, but now we're still side by side with Nicholas Latifi. Trying to squeeze the Williams, but he's going to have the better line. We go in wide, and Zhou Guanyu is going to take advantage of that and go around us. Now, Stroll looking to get by us. He's not going to be able to. We're up to P20 on the opening lap. Here we are on lap 4. Pierre Gasly out of the session with an engine failure. We're looking to make a move on Zhou Guanyu, and we do make the move here in turn 3. Unfortunately, we can't see it because of the quality, but we are up into P16. A couple of drivers have had issues with their cars. So Pierre Gasly out of the Austrian sprint, and I believe Mick Schumacher is out as well in this one. But we're up to P16. Next up will be Sebastian Vettel if we can try and run down the Aston Martin. But we're going to have to defend. Zhou Guanyu looking to the outside here into turn 9. And the Alfa Romeo is going to try and make the move stick, but we squeeze him out. But now, out of turn 10, Zhou Guanyu back down the inside with DRS. He's going to be able to make the move. Stroll trying to make the move on Zhou Guanyu as well. They both get around us. Stroll gets squeezed out. We're going to look to the outside of Stroll. Now, heading into turn 2, can we get around Zhou Guanyu as well? Zhou trying to defend. He's going to defend the bottom into turn 3. We're looking around the outside of the Alfa Romeo. We couldn't do it, but we do get ahead of Stroll. Now, down into turn 4. We are right there behind Zhou Guanyu with DRS, looking to the outside of the Alfa Romeo. He gives us damage. He brake checks us in the middle of turn 4. Damage to the front wing because of Zhou Guanyu brake checking us here on lap number 5. We're here now on lap 6, halfway through this Austrian GP sprint. We're just trying to close the gap back down to Zhou Guanyu, but Lance Stroll is pressuring us. here on lap 6. Can Stroll get down or inside into turn 9? I really can't tell what's happening. Stroll thought better of the move. We run wide. Very aggressive right now. Running wide again in the final corner. But we do hold on to the spot over Lance Stroll. But Stroll is gaining on us here into turn 1. He sends one down the inside. Forces us to run wide. Even more floor damage and rear diffuser damage. And I can barely tell what's going on because of the quality. Stroll looking to our outside here in turn 3. We're going to squeeze him out. And we keep the spot over Lance Stroll for now. We're here now on lap 8. Stroll ahead of us here, entering the braking zone for turn 4. We're forced to kind of let him have the spot. We're going to look for the move into turn 6, and we go around and we're out of the Austrian sprint race. Piastri, our teammate, gets into us. What happened? We're looking for the move on Stroll. He clears us on the exit of turn 4, heading into the corner. We go down the inside, and we get turned around. Piastri gets into us. Nothing we could have done, nothing Oscar could have done there. We look at our onboard. We were there on Stroll when he started turning in. So he just completely turns in, sends us spinning, and then there's nowhere for Piastri to go. Nicholas Latifi gets into the back of Oscar. Here's the view from Piastri, just nowhere for him to go. And then Nicholas Latifi as well. But we are out of the Austrian sprint race. Very unfortunate there. But we'll get to see who wins the sprint. The second sprint of the season. So, Carlos Sainz wins the second sprint race of the season over Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen, P7. But that was just very unfortunate for us. We ended up P19. Latifi DNF from that. Piastri did go on to finish. But let's head in to the Austrian Grand Prix on Sunday.
Welcome from the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix.
Too many problems, retire the car. She's done. Okay, pronto.
The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of around 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill of turn 3.
Last corner. Bottle!
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Lando Norris, and Perez. Verstappen, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, and Daniel Ricciardo. Ocon, Magnussen, Yuki Tsunoda, and Albon. Vettel, Joe, Lance Stroll, and Oscar Piastri. Thomas, Latifi, Gasly. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Why don't we discuss Red Bull? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
And there you have it, starting P19 here for the Austrian GP. We're going to be going mediums to softs here, the normal strategy in this My Team career mode. We are going to be dropping the fuel like normal to 36.5. And you see, we are raising the front wing back to 8. Here we go, though, for the formation lap here. Behind our teammate, in front of Latifi, Gasly, and Schumacher here. And let's head in to the formation lap. Here we are at the end of the formation lap. Just trying to get some heat in the rears here and the fronts by locking up the brakes just a bit. We're going to try and aim this a bit towards the outside of the track, but we overstep it. We get reset, and that's... Here we go, though, for the 5 red lights for the Austrian GP. 5 red lights are out, and away we go here. And it's not going to be a great getaway here. And it's a great getaway, though, for Mick Schumacher, Pierre Gasly, and Latifi. Everyone just kind of swamped us off the start. We got to be aggressive here in turn 1 to try and gain back the positions. And we're up into P19 here. Or we're back to P19 now. Trying to get around Mick Schumacher here. Down into turn 3. Heavy braking zone. Zhou Guanyu sends one down the inside of Tsunoda. We go down the inside of Vettel. Kind of parking there in the middle of the corner. But we're looking to get around the Aston Martin here for P16. Down into turn 4. We're trying to edge ahead of the Aston. And we do send it down the inside. In the braking zone. Vettel's still there. But on exit we squeeze him out. Now on the run up to turn 6. We're down the inside of Tsunoda here. Trying to make the move here in turn 6. Can we do it into turn 7? No, we think better of it. After the entire Stroll incident in the sprint, we're going to come out of lap 1 so far on P16. Do we have a shot at maybe getting Tsunoda on the main straightaway? But it's a slow turn 9. Trying to be aggressive through turn 10. But at the end of lap 1, we are P16 ahead of Mick Schumacher here. But on lap 2, we're trying to gain on the AlphaTauri up ahead for P15. So far, we're 3/10 back. Down into turn 3. We're going to have a send into turn 3. Down the inside of the AlphaTauri. Can we make the move stick? We do get ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. Now just trying to break the toe here on the AlphaTauri. We're gaining on the Alfa Romeo. Do we think of a move here? We think of it, but think better. And we're going to hold on to P15 here on lap 2. Here we are, though. Zhou Guanyu looking for a move on Magnussen up ahead. Is he going to make the move? Yes, he does. He gets around Kevin Magnussen. Sergio Perez in the pits. Here comes Yuki Tsunoda now. Looking for a move down the inside of Magnussen. Contact. Damage to Tsunoda. But now we're looking to get back around the AlphaTauri. And maybe even the Haas after that. Down into turn 3. Tsunoda's going to try and cover us off, but we send it around the outside. Could we make the move stick? We do. Now we're looking for Kevin Magnussen down into turn 4. We're going to leave him space just to not catch his right or left front. We're still side by side with the Haas heading into turn number 6. We're still down the inside of Kevin Magnussen. We catch curb, and we're going to be forced to back out of that move. Here into turn 7, now heading through 8, looking to make the move on Magnussen, on to overtake. Heading into turn 9, we're looking, not going to be able to get there entering turn 9. Meanwhile, behind us, Yuki Tsunoda coming into the pit lane here with front wing damage. But now, out of turn 10, we're going to look for the move on Magnussen yet again. Here, down into turn 1, a little bit of wheel banging, but we do make this move on the Haas. Here we are, though, coming onto lap 5, yellow flags behind us. And there's a car stopped on track. It's Pierre Gasly, and he's out of the session. What happened to the AlphaTauri? We're just looking behind us now. Here's Gasly. There's a car peeling into the pits just up ahead. Gasly runs a little bit wide, and our teammate Piastri comes through and hits him. And the right front wheel is off of the AlphaTauri. Pierre Gasly is out of the Austrian GP. We see here yet again, he runs wide to avoid the Williams and just comes back into the path of Oscar Piastri. And that takes him out of the session. But we're now going to have a safety car here on lap 5 of the Austrian GP, which will bunch up the field yet again. Here we are at the end of lap 7. Safety car coming in. We make a little mistake there trying to get on the throttle. We're up to P11. One of the cars up ahead, or some of the cars up ahead pitted. Now we're right. We have a shot at points here. Can we get around the Alfa Romeo? Zhou Guanyu on the opening lap. We have already pulled a gap to Kevin Magnussen. Let's see if there's any shot we have heading into turn 3. Through turn 2, now heading into turn 3. We're going to send one down the inside of Zhou Guanyu. Probably could have tried to move on Valtteri Bottas, but his AI does not like me in this game. In any game mode, we've had several incidents with him. So we thought better of the dive. It's going to be P10 here on lap 8. We're into the points for the first time since Miami. And we would have been in Canada, but remember the engine failure there while we were running P7 at this exact same point in the race. We do make a little mistake. That's going to allow Zhou Guanyu to gain on us here. We're going to defend. Does Zhou have any shot? He's sending one down the inside into turn 9, but he's not going to be able to make the move stick. We hold on to the 10th spot here. Next up will be Valtteri Bottas, who's just about a second ahead. Here we are on lap 11, gaining on the Alfa Romeo of Bottas for P9, trying to give us an extra spot here in the points, going around the outside of the Alfa Romeo of Bottas. Do we make it stick? No, Bottas edging ahead. We're going to have DRS open, overtake using it here, heading off into turn 4. Bottas trying to get ahead of us, down into turn 4. We're going to leave him the space, and Bottas gets back ahead. Do we have a shot at a move here into turn 6? No, we're not close enough. Here we are, though, on lap 12. Trying a similar move here into turn 3, back around the outside, but you look behind us, Sergio Perez is gaining as we have a little bit of contact with Valtteri Bottas. Now, heading into turn 4, we're getting a better run on the exit. DRS, overtake. Can we clear the Alfa Romeo? No, he's going to send it into turn 4. We're going to try the crossover, but we get stuck on the curb, catch the grass. And now we're going to have Sergio Perez in the Red Bull trying to get around us. We don't fight him here. We're just going to try and stick behind him and allow us to catch up to Valtteri Bottas if we could stay in the DRS. Here we are, though, at the end of the lap. Sergio Perez into the pit lane now. We are within a second of Valtteri Bottas, so our plan did not go well because Perez is into the pits at the end of that lap. But here we are on lap 13, trying to gain on Valtteri Bottas, trying to make the move into turn 3. But you see, this battling has cost us nearly 6 seconds to Esteban Ocon up ahead. Here we are yet again on lap 14, trying to make a move on Valtteri Bottas. Gaining down this straightaway, now through turn 2, entering turn 3, around the outside again of the Alfa Romeo. He locks up on the bottom, runs wide, nearly shoves us off the track. We get a better exit. We are ahead of Valtteri Bottas now into P9. Can we hold on, though? The Alfa Romeo is quick. Down into turn 4. Thought he was going to make a move, but he doesn't. But we've lost 7, nearly 8 seconds to Esteban Ocon. And now Zhou Guanyu is right on us. Only a second back here on lap 14. We're coming through turn 7, just trying to hold off Valtteri Bottas. But you can see the steering getting a little uneasy through the corner there. Here on lap 14, down in lap 15, Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu really trying to pile the pressure on us. We are going to box this lap, though. The pit window is open. Heading through turn 7, we are fighting for P9. But in reality, it might be P11 here because Lando Norris and Sergio Perez are definitely quicker than us. We're coming into the pit lane. It looks like Valtteri Bottas will follow us in. Zhou Guanyu is going to remain out. Here we go. Let's see what the pit stop is going to be here. Good on the entry. Bottas basically pushing us into the pit lane here. The turn-in will be optimal here, near 0.1 turn-in. Let's see what the stop is going to be. It's going to be a 2.4 second stop, and we get out way further ahead of Valtteri Bottas. As you see, Perez and Norris have gotten ahead of us, which means the fight will be for P11 now. But we are ahead by 1.3 seconds on Valtteri Bottas, 2.3 on Lance Stroll. But remember, I struggle on the cold hards. And Bottas is just able to push that much harder, and he has gained on us. Here we are at the end of lap 16, running a little bit wide. Piastri into the pit lane. We're going to be pushing. Let's see where we come out. We're going to be ahead of Magnussen, ahead of Piastri. Here is Zhou Guanyu. Will we remain ahead of the Chinese driver? Coming out of the pits, he is ahead of us. He has jumped us, but we're going to have so much more speed entering or on the run up to turn 2, but he's actually getting us here. He is using overtake. We're going to send it back down the inside into turn 3. He's going to pinch us off into the corner, but we do get back ahead of Zhou Guanyu. Here we go though. Now at the end of at the start of lap 18, we will come out will we come out ahead of Sebastian Vettel for P11? Yes, we do. But now they're going to be battling very aggressively behind. We're trying to pull away from this pack as we head off into turn 3. And they're going to dive it into the corner. We're forced to go wide because of Zhou Guanyu locking up. They're 4 wide. We run wide. And we're going to be given 2 illegal overtakes, even though we got shoved off the track. And they're not passing us. We're trying to let them by. You can hear me screaming
I got shoved off the track
over the mic as they're now side by side. The Aston Martins are. We're down to P15 because of that. I was furious at this point. I mean, they just completely dove it in. Let's take another look at that. So Zhou and Vettel were side by side, and Zhou sends it into the corner. Bottas got stuck it in there, so there was no space for me to rejoin. And then Vettel was not going around us.
I got shoved off the track and had to give up spots because I was ahead of him.
But here we are at the end of lap 18, starting lap 19. We did get back ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Next up will be Lance Stroll, but you can see Zhou Guanyu has pulled 3 seconds ahead because of that. I checked up the pack so much because they refused to go around me. But now we're looking to the outside of Lance Stroll. Stroll defends into turn 3. We're going to get a better run through the corner, and we are ahead of the Aston Martin. Here we are on lap 21. You hear a little bit of wear on the engine. Yellow flags behind. There is a car going slowly. It's the Williams, I believe. And it will be Alexander Albon out of the Austrian GP, which was unfortunate because there was a point in this race where he was actually running in the points. But we are slowly gaining on Zhou Guanyu here. Will we be able to catch the Chinese driver before the end of this one? We're here on lap 25, and I've just let Sebastian Vettel go through. The Aston Martin has been quicker than us, and our tires are starting to fade. So I decided to let him through and just try and follow him, because he was a lot quicker than us. And hopefully, my plan here was that he would drag us up to Zhou Guanyu in P11. Here we are though now on lap 29, and you see the plan is kind of working. Vettel now only 2 seconds back from Zhou Guanyu. We do kind of cut the corner. We catch the sausage curb on exit, and Mick Schumacher now goes through into 13. We're going to push to try and gain on the Haas. See if we can do anything to get back around him. Down into turn 3, we go in deep. Run wide on exit, but Mick Schumacher has the spot. Here we are on lap 33 of the Grand Prix, and we have lost touch with Schumacher and Vettel. These tires are dead, as we see behind us Stroll and Tsunoda battling for position. Here we are at the end of lap 33. Tsunoda has gotten within a second. Here, he's in DRS range. Stroll into the pit lane. We're going to try and hold off Tsunoda here for 3, maybe even 2 more laps, because Leclerc is gaining on us. Here we are on lap 35. You can see Vettel, not Vettel, the Ferraris behind us really gaining the leaders here. Tsunoda's going to pull over out of turn 8 and let the leaders by. We're going to get blue flags entering turn 9, but we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to push. We want to finish every lap in this race. We haven't been lapped since Bahrain, and we are going to do it, as the Ferrari will come across the line to win. Charles Leclerc wins the Austrian GP. but we do get to finish off an entire race. And what a race it was. Unfortunately, we did not get the points we were fighting for at the beginning. What could have been if we didn't get caught up fighting Bottas? Maybe we would have had a shot at points. Because I don't know if we were quicker than the Alpine, but we would have found out. But it is going to be P14 for us in the Austrian GP. What a run, though. We're just finishing off this final lap. We're not really pushing. We don't need to push. But I mean, we're definitely starting to show pace when we finish these races. Obviously, we were running P7 in Canada. We got our first points in Miami. We actually had a shot at points in Jeddah before the incident with Bottas. We come across the line, though. P14. But yeah, this team is really starting to get results. Obviously, Piastri had the P11 in Bahrain. That was an amazing showing from him. Mick Schumacher gets the driver of the day, though.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So much like in real life, Charles Leclerc and Ferrari had the edge over Max Verstappen. Leclerc wins, Sainz second, and George Russell gets a podium here for Mercedes. Tough day for Red Bull, though. But big day for Leclerc. Something he really needed during this one. So there it is. Max Verstappen scores the 4th most points. And that's going to really help Leclerc as he cuts the gap down to 48 points between himself and Verstappen. We are still down towards the bottom of, obviously, the last of the point scorers here in P17 in points. But I definitely feel like we should be able to fight for more points sometime this season. But it's 10th in the Constructors as well. Still, not the worst, but we definitely could have had a better result here if we didn't get caught up in some stuff. But that'll be it from this episode of the My Team Career Mode. Tune in next time for the French GP. And that'll be it for this one. Goodbye.